You are not too old, you are not too tired, you are not too stressed. You just haven't figured it out yet with the right system and the right structure for your life. I know that sounds harsh, but if I'm being brutally honest with you, most of the guys I talk to are 30, 40, 45, 50 and carrying weight around the middle have convinced themselves that this is inevitable, this is the path they have to go down. That is just what happens when you hit a certain age, when you have kids, when you're successful in your career, when you're married, when life happens, blah, 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 blah. The belly comes with the territory, apparently. Fucking hell, it really doesn't have to. I've been coaching for over 15 years. I'm a dad, I run a business. I know what it feels like to look in the mirror and not recognize the guy staring back. The low energy, the quiet frustration creeping in, the feeling that you should be showing up better for your wife, for your kids, for yourself. I've been there. My clients have been there. I understand. And here's what I've learned from working with hundreds of guys in exactly your position right now. There are things you need to get your head around if you actually want to lose the weight and keep it off. 3 mindset shifts that nobody really talks about because they're not sexy, they don't sell supplements, it's not a quick fix, it's not gonna radically change things overnight. But let's get into them because you need to hear them. Shift number 1, it's going to take longer than you want to admit or maybe even acknowledge. And I don't say that to discourage you. I say it because the biggest reasons guys our age quit is they've still got a 22-year-old's timeline running in their head. When you were 22, you could cook carbs for 6 weeks, train a little bit harder, skip a few nights out. You'd be in shape for that holiday, you'd be feeling good, done, no problem, right? It was easy for you to maintain. But you're not 22 anymore. You've got a business to show up for, you've got kids who need you, you've got a marriage that takes work and time and commitment. Life doesn't pause so you can make fitness your entire personality for 8 weeks. And here's what happens. You start strong 2, 3, 4 weeks in, you're pushing, you're feeling good, you're grinding, you're going at it. The scale isn't moving the way you expected. So your brain goes, well, what's the fucking point? Why am I putting all of this effort in if I'm not seeing the fruits of my labor, if I'm not seeing the results that I want? This isn't working, and you walk away. I'm too old, I'm too busy, my metabolism's slow, I'm too tired, insert excuse, right? And then 6 months later, you are back at square one, more defeated than when you started. Your metabolism there isn't broken. You're not past your prime. You've just got a real fucking life with real responsibilities, and you cannot drop everything to chase that elusive 6-pack or that elusive fitness goal, and that's just the truth. Consistency over a long period is going to be intensity over a short one. Always. Every single time. And that's not some motivational bullshit, some motivational poster. That's the reality of every guy that I've helped get into shape after 35. Broaden your horizons, lengthen your timeline. Shift number 2, you're judging progress in completely the wrong way. 1 pound of body fat. If I told you you'd lose 1 pound this week, most of you would be disappointed. 1 pound, half a kilo, it's nothing, right? It's nothing. Go pick up half a kilo of sugar or a pound of sugar, whatever metric you want to use. Think about the size of that, hold it, feel it. That's a significant chunk of mass leaving your body. And if you lost 1 pound a week for a year, it's 52 pounds. Suddenly 1 pound a week doesn't seem disappointing, does it? The problem is fat doesn't come off the places you want it to straight away. It's spread across your entire body, and you're gonna hold fat in different positions based on your own biology. So your arms might lean up, your legs might start to lean up, your waist might start to lean up a little bit, but the love handles, maybe they don't, right? That's the last to go. Human biology doesn't negotiate. You have to stay the course long enough to lose fat from the places that you want to lose it to. And because the mirror and the scale are the only things you are checking, you think nothing's happening. But that might not be the truth. Scale weight is a liar. A bowel movement, some extra salt, some carbs the night before, any of it can swing the number of the scale the next morning by a few pounds. That's not necessarily fat gain, that's just stuff moving through your system. That's your body doing what it needs to do. So you need to take more than 1 data point. Yes, take your weight, but take photos, take measurements around your waist, around your chest, around your hips, track your lifts in the gym, track your belt size, have performance goals along the aesthetic goals. Because if your deadlift is climbing or your pull-up numbers are going up whilst the scale is staying flat, guess what? You're still making progress. You're still building muscle. You're still doing something. You need to be tracking this from multiple angles, not just a scale. So stop turning your nose up at a pound a week. In the chaos of adult life, having kids, running a business, working a busy career, whatever it is, the shitstorm of things that come daily at you, a pound a week is genuinely good progress. And if you start tracking other metrics as well, you'll be in a good place. Shift number 3, if you don't have a plan, you are just hoping, and hope is not a fucking strategy. Here's something that blows my mind. The same guy who's successful running his business would never do so without a plan. He hires accountants when he's got finance issues. He hires lawyers when he needs legal help. He hires consultants without thinking twice. He goes to the dentist when he's got teeth problems. But he walks into the gym with no structure, no program, no accountability, no help, and just decides to wing it with his health and fitness, which is the biggest asset that you have. Your body is the one asset that you cannot delegate. You can hire for everything else, but your own energy, your own health, your own presence, that's yours alone to supply. Yes, you can get outside help from it, but letting it degrade is quietly undermining everything else that you've built in your life. Without a plan, you'll find reasons not to go. Without somebody to hold you accountable, you'll find reasons to quit when things get tough. Tiredness, busyness, life, all valid reasons. And because there's no structure, there's no congruence for that missing session, you walk in, do a few bits, train like you used to with niggling shoulders and dodging knees and wonder why nothing's changing. The intensity isn't there. Same with nutrition. Eat healthier, fewer takeaways, less alcohol, all noble intentions. But if they're not part of a bigger plan, how do you know if they're actually working? Do you know you can stick to that? You've probably tried that before, right? You need to know how many calories you should be eating, how much protein. You need structure for making sure that you're following that in a way that suits your life. Because when the dice spirals and you're tired and you don't have a plan, that's when you're going to reach for stuff in the cupboard. That's when you and the missus are going to grab a takeaway. Because the day will spiral. And I say this all the time, you cannot control everything that happens between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. But you can control the first meal. If you front load your protein at breakfast with 40 to 50% of your protein goal, for example, you've already took a big chunk out of your daily target before the chaos kicks in. You've already won the battle before lunch. With a plan, you have something to cross-reference every week. Did I train? Did I apply effort? Did I train at the right intensity? Did I check in with my coach? Did I eat what I said I would? If the answer is yes and the scale still won't move, we adjust. There's clearly things going on. But without the plan, without following the direction, you're just driving around hoping you land at a destination. It's not a recipe for success. Bonus, break it down into manageable chunks. You look at the distance between where you are and where you want to be. Maybe that's 40 pounds, maybe it's 50 pounds, maybe it's 20 pounds, maybe it's 60 pounds, who knows? And you try to do it all in one sprint. It's a marathon. Especially with everything else on your plate. Break it into 8-week blocks. In 8 weeks, I will weigh X. To get there, I will do Y. And I understand that it will take time and you just tick the boxes. You tick things off as you go. Then you just focus on that one block. Be where you are right now. Do the work that's relevant right now. You are not getting distracted by how far you still have to go or letting the size of the goal overwhelm you. Because if you want to lose 50 pounds, how do you do it? You do it by losing 1 pound at a fucking time. So no, it's not too late. I've got kids. I've got businesses. I'm not living out of Tupperware or training like a bodybuilder. And that's what I show you in real time, how you can still make this work. How you can practically still be in decent shape as a dad with everything else you've got fucking going on in your life. So, hit subscribe. I'm walking the walk on this channel and I'm going to give you the full breakdown as I go. Behind the scenes of what's going on in my life, videos like this, educating you and hopefully giving you ideas to use yourself. Losing the weight is still possible. That's what I need you to know. It's just going to take longer than you want to admit. You need to understand that progress is progress even when it doesn't feel like it. You need a plan grounded in accountability and direction and clarity. And you need to break it down into manageable chunks and stay consistent over a long period of time. It's not sexy, I know it's not, but that's what you need to do. If you do that, you will get the body you want. The longer you leave it, the harder it gets. The best time to get in shape was yesterday, the second best time is today. So what I want you to do is comment below, which one of these 3 did you resonate the most with? Which one of these hit home the most for you right now? Remember, action is always going to be inaction. It doesn't matter how it shows up, okay? Action beats inaction. Understand the journey ahead of you. Commit to it. Accept that it's a process. I promise you, as someone who's been there and helped hundreds of guys do the same, it is worth the effort, but you need to start now.